Love 15.
What a point to kick things off. Just your average 16-shot rally, first point of the match.
Well, the previous encounter here went for 2 hours and 51 minutes, so I'm enjoying a long day of tennis already. More to come.
Hope you're hydrated.
Yeah, bring it on. We're in air conditioning, so it's more caffeinated than hydrated on both. It's not an easy shot on these courts and in these conditions, but it was well executed.
Yeah, lovely feel around the ball. We've seen on these hot days how much higher the ball is bouncing, how lively the courts are. So tough moment to play the drop shot, especially against such a great mover like Halep. Well, it's another long one, 16-shot rally, and if the calf was ever going to be tested for Halep, it will be today. She's not really spent a lot of time on court this tournament. Longest match, an hour, 29 minutes. I think we'll be over that today.
So tested on serve here already. Cornet, she had trouble against Zidansek on serve. Lost her opening service game in the first 2 sets. Was broken on numerous occasions.
And in that last match against Zidansek, Cornet was broken first game of both the first and the second set. Makes such a difference just to get that first game on the board, get the nerves out of the way.
Had that thigh strapping on as well. Didn't seem to impact her movement. So gets the hold.
15 months.
And we're going to be talking a lot today about Halep's positioning on the court. If she could potentially be a bit more aggressive, try and take the time away from Cornet.
Good example right there, coming forward.
40-15.
Not a huge net player, Halep, but she can hit those drive volleys really nicely, and I think that's a great play today because these points have just been so long already.
Game, Halep.
So a strong hold for Halep. Nicole Pratt is courtside, sitting in a little puddle down there. It's so warm. And Nicole, how's it going? Can you just give us a quick update on how brutally warm it is? Because it looks hot from up here and we're in the air conditioning.
Well, guys, I'm like a Anzac Bicky sitting in an oven right now, baking away, and these players equally, I think they're working hard. Conditions are very, very tough, no question. There's a slight breeze coming from the city end down towards the river, and that's where, Laura, you were talking about that aggressive court position. So Halep had a much more aggressive court position from this end she's at now compared to the other end, so that's something to keep an eye on.
And we've got a few words from Darren Cahill, Halep's former coach, saying you'll see a much more aggressive Halep today from when they last played back in 2015. That Simona said that she wished she'd come forward more, chopped off the corners and just taken the time away from Cornet. Get Praddy to keep an eye on that.
That coaching relationship coming to an end last year, and they're still great mates, but the professional relationship coming to its conclusion. It was an interesting one. It was on, it was off. It was, you know, Darren Cahill, a great student of the game and a motivator of his players.
Length for service.
He managed the ultimate with Simona Halep. He was able to get at a barrack for Port Adelaide, the local football club, which, other than the die-hard Port Adelaide fans, no one likes. So he was able to convince Simona that that was the team to barrack for.
She didn't know what she was doing.
Had no idea.
And I think that's a really good point to mention, that Halep is actually #1 on tour for second serve return points won. And Praddy, I don't know if you're seeing a bit more aggression in where she's coming from the split step on that one.
Definitely her court position is more aggressive overall, and as you said, I think over the course of this match she'll be looking to be aggressive, work Cornet into the corners, make her suffer physically.
There's the first break point.
It's a good serve from Cornet.
Yes.
And it's that sort of ball, that last backhand, that I feel that Halep could really cut off even more. She almost waited a step too long to try and get up to that one. And with Cornet, you know, when she's push wide that she is going to float it up.
Advantage, Halep.
Cornet wants to have a look. Only just wide.
I always think Cornet wants to have an extra look when she just wants a couple extra seconds between the point to recover.
Yes.
Well, she had a very good outburst in her previous match. She had a couple of time violations, lost a point for the second one, and took that up pretty strongly with the chair umpire. I thought she was a bit unlucky, actually. She was checking the position of the sun with a practice ball toss.
Advantage, Halep.
Also went the other way, though, in that match against Zidansek, where Zidansek was a set 4-1-30 love up and then got called for a time violation herself. And what that did to sort of her mentality on the court, but it just gave Cornet that small opening to turn it around.
It was a big turning point, wasn't it? And then they had that 14-minute game, and Cornet, she saved third break point there, as she is wont to do. That fired it up too, the little stance that she had with the chair umpire. She was very impressive after that, didn't let it bother her. In fact, it spurred her on.
Left for service.
For me, this last probably 5 or 6 points from Halep, she's actually got a real defensive mindset. She's almost playing not to lose. The court position has been backwards, like even with the split step on the first serve, she went backwards. So really not taking her opportunity with these break point opportunities right now.
That said, Laura, there's a bit to be said for fresh legs, isn't there, when you get to this stage of the tournament. We've had consecutive hot days now since the middle of last week. It's been very warm.
Yeah, and we're just seeing the average distance behind the baseline here. Halep, especially on that last backhand, trying to play way too far, and yeah, makes it very tough for herself.
Not easy from that southern end. Sun moved a little around, but that was a high ball.
And for me, I think Cornet's better side is the backhand. She tends to be more consistent off that one, maybe slightly more dangerous with the speeds on the forehand, but can throw in those errors. So I think for Halep, you know, she's got that lovely natural slice on the serve. Really get after it on the first. I actually think Cornet is aware of Halep wanting to come in a bit more, because on that last shot in particular, that's the one that we would usually see her really float up with a topspin forehand, but she's making a conscious effort to keep it low with the slice instead.
Yeah, very nice indeed from Cornet.
Youth.
Cornet right now is really dialed in. She looks confident. She has clarity on what she's trying to do. And it's crazy how similar their game styles are. It's just whoever can get that strike in with a little bit more pace and find the width, then they're able to take control. So a really great contest between both players.
Seven unforced errors from Harold. Break point. So Cornet gets the break. Just the one opportunity, makes the most of it. Leads 3-1.
Cornet leads 3-1.
Yeah, it really feels like Cornet knew coming in that she had to get a good start, just to loosen up the nerves. You know, this is a huge chance for her to make her first Grand Slam quarter-final, and after such a tough match in the last round as well.
She lost her first 3 service games in that match against Zidansek. Mind you, the entire match started off with 5 breaks of serve. They traded breaks. So good start here for Cornet.
Love 15.
second double fault from Cornet. And as Paddy was saying, they play so similar that Halep actually can't get the pace that she usually likes to redirect. You know, she's so good against the big ball strikers, and she can take that on, not have to generate it all herself. And this is where she sort of struggles against someone so consistent.
Love 13.
Okay, Alizé, I think time to park the drop shot just for now. Worked on the first point, but maybe just give it a little rest. 3 break points.
Yeah, I mean, the timing of that one was really not ideal. Halep was already halfway up the court. Didn't disguise it at all, Cornet.
Game, Halep.
So break straight back.
Love 15.
Trading winners.
15 all.
That was close.
13.
Like it might have been dropping wide. And they certainly thought it may have gone wide.
Shots taken inside the baseline at the moment. Cornet leading just slightly, and I feel like most of those coming on the second serve return. She's really trying to take that ball on, get a look in first shot of the rally.
Strong hitting from Halep. Squares it up. You talked about whether Cornet was suffering. I think both players are feeling the conditions at the moment. We've seen some uncharacteristic errors, both retreating to the shade at the end of the court whenever they can. Pretty tough conditions.
Yeah, Halep actually taking a look over at Cornet there to make sure that she wasn't hanging around waiting in the sun to serve. And again here, just waiting back in the shade until Cornet's up at the line. Smart move.
15 love.
Te gândi să dai pe centru, te rog, deschide terenul, te rog.
Probably heard Simona then, some commentary, not happy because she didn't move her feet up to that last ball, but clearly both players taking as much time as possible between points.
Left for service.
You
I
mentioned
think
that.
the umpire's actually being a little generous with the time clock as well.
That'll make Alizé happy.
She didn't like it in the last match.
It's a brilliant shot from Cornet.
They're both
30 love.
very even in winners and unforced errors so far. Both of them hitting 7 winners. Cornet 1 higher on 10 unforced errors to Halep's 9. But I mean, we've seen they're so even here.
Thirty 15.
I think you're right, Paddy, because I feel like the chair umpire's not even starting the clock until Cornet's almost got the balls in her hand. Fair bit of chat here from Halep.
Game.
So Cornet holds. 4-3.
Fifteen love.
Well, both of them don't know if it's in or it's out.
Halep's taking a long, long look at it, but it's certainly in with the ELC, electronic line calling. But Cornet really needs to take advantage of the second serve. There's not much pace on the second serve from Halep, and it's very predictable going to the forehand side of Cornet almost each and every time.
15-13.
Well, that's the first double fault of the match from Halep, and that last service speed, as you say, Paddy, it's low. It's 129 kilometers an hour. And Cornet is now really covering that forehand return on the second serve. We can see her moving a lot more towards the middle of the court on that ad side. Again, taking control of the point with the return. See in particular on the second serve there, Cornet getting after it, adding a bit more pace than her opponent today.
Cornet gets the break. Leads 5-3.
Cornet leads 5 games to 3.
So in her 5 fourth round matches, Alizé Cornet Grand Slam, she's never won the first set. A couple of times she's been to 3 sets in search of that elusive spot in the quarterfinal, but she's never won the first set.
Love 15.
A little more aggressive here from Halep.
It's a bit more
15.
aggressive, but then she throws in that one
Yeah.
forehand in the rally, which is super short, and it just allows Cornet back into it. Just not getting that consistent depth. But playing all of them from really the same spot behind the baseline.
That forehand was just wide from Cornet, but I really get the sense that Cornet is like, when she's out playing tennis, she's fishing. And what she does is she casts the line out. She goes high and heavy sometimes, and then she does the short, fast cast. And that rhythm, that change of pace is what is upsetting Simona Halep and not allowing Halep to play her best tennis today.
Long.
30.
And you feel like Cornet could sit out here and play these super long rallies all day. And it's what she does in most of her matches. Again, very generous with the serve clock there for me.
J'ai pas le temps de récupérer, j'ai pas le temps.
30-40.
So had a couple of double faults from Cornet when her serve was broken in the 5th game.
I just think it's classic Cornet to have a reaction like that when you're still serving for the set, still absolutely in this game. Gotta love her.
Just not enough. The idea was okay, but Halep breaks back.
What was that drop shot? Understandable shake of the head there, because a very strange time to play it. Halep had this incredible angle on the backhand, didn't do enough with the drive volley, took it a bit too low, and just a bit of a panic mode there.
There's some tension.
Absolutely. Halep was hunched over after that smash, and given the temperature out here, it's just a battle of will. It's about the mind. It's about not necessarily playing your opponent, but just keeping yourself in check.
Three-set points. Some tenaciousness from Alizé Cornet.
Cea mai slab. Să știm și eu la telefon.
Fifteen, 14.
So Cornet gets the opening set. Tension packed. Yeah. What do you make of the fact that it's the first time, Laura, that Alizé Cornet, 6th time to the 4th round, first time she's won the first set? She would know that stat, that she hasn't been able to get off to a good start, and she's got one here.
She would be really aware of that stat, and I think she'd also really be aware of the head-to-head here, even though they haven't played in a number of years. She's someone who remembers almost every match she's played, especially against such a great player.
Oh, nice touch. It was clever.
And I do feel like Cornet's in Halep's head a little bit here. Just the fact that Halep can't quite figure out a game plan that's working for her just yet. I do think we're going to see some Cornet drama, let's call it, come in as the pressure builds for her to try and close this out.
You mentioned earlier that Cornet likes to come from behind, likes to be the underdog. She had to change her tactics against Zidansek in the second set, whereas now she's in a different situation, leading. So it's to Halep really to determine what the tactics will be.
15-14.
Yeah, I think Halep's really got to do a better job here of trying to keep the points short. You know, I feel like she's trying to go inside out on the forehand from too far behind the court when she really could just cut the angle off a bit more and play that lovely backhand angle that we've seen a few times.
So Halep gets the break to start the second set.
Well, I'm going to do a classic win predictor and sit on the fence. I'm very 50-50 right now.
Oh, here we go. It's back. Okay, so it still has Halep 59%. I think win predictors are a bit fascinated with the 2 Grand Slam titles and the former world #1. That's must have a strong weighting on the win predictor scale. Either that or win predictors actually Romanian.
I'm going to go with my own prediction, and much along the lines of what Laura was saying is, if this goes 3 sets, I can guarantee there is going to be drama and there's going to be a lot said from Cornet.
Both players taking some deep breaths after that one. And
30-all.
Cornet spent 5 hours, 42 minutes on court coming into this match. I think the longer it goes on, the more she's going to let it show that she's feeling it out there. I actually think she's one of the fittest players on tour. You know, she's been able to stay so healthy over the years, played so many consecutive slams, but she's never afraid to show you how she's feeling.
We talked about that serve, 118 kilometres an hour, and Cornet pounces on it.
winners are coming from the forehand side of Cornet, but also the errors. Just got to be a bit careful of those. Halep's also got to be careful about serving it consistently to that side. Cornet really reading it. Look how far wide she is here.
Oh, it's in, well in. And they might need an hour to recover from that point. The running, the hitting, 28 shots. Chapeau to both.
Advantage Cornet.
Some serious court coverage from both players. I can't believe how they get to some of these shots, and Halep had to go from behind the baseline there, cover the drop shot, and then just too much. But great feel from Cornet there.
Oh, she's got out of one there, Halep, because the serve was 103. She's absolutely cooked. She was trying to just recover to put her arms above her head. Comes up with this one, though.
And she's really leaning over at the back of the court here.
The other thing that's happening out here is both players have upped the ante in terms of speed of shot, so that is putting even more physical drain on them.
Cornet breaks back. Two breaks a serve to start off this second set.
One game.
There's a real tension about this match. The crowd involvement. Have a look at Halep at the back. Absolutely spent. Brutal conditions, long rallies, hard hitting. It's a Grand Slam torture test.
Well, very, very generous again from the chair umpire here, I think.
Cornet served there with 1 second to go, so but there's a little bit of leniency, isn't there? And I think it's right. There's no gameswomanship in what both players are doing. I don't feel. Do you?
No, I don't feel that way. But, you know, this is where players start to get frustrated with the rules. If you're watching this in the locker room and you've already been out there today struggling with the heat,
I'll keep an eye on that clock. Chair umpire a little lenient, but only a second or two. But they're pushing it as they try and recover. And that sort of, how about that lob hit the back line.
I mean, fair enough. This has been so physical.
You just keep an eye on both players here and their recovery. Halep will go down the haunches. Deep breaths from Cornet. Actually almost struggled to get the ball in the air on the serve. 118 kilometres an hour, her last delivery. Fifth double fault.
I mean, both players just have nothing left in the legs for the serve at the moment. Both of them really struggling to just push up.
On that occasion, the ball toss from Cornet was far too out in front. She was unable to get her legs underneath the ball to drive up. And I have to agree with you there, Laura. I think the legs are starting to lose their way a little, just for both players as well.
Brilliant defence from Cornet. Halep raised the hitting power there. Interesting to see her response, Halep. She's just dropped the one set in her entire trip down under in 2022 before this match.
I think we've had her talking to herself a lot in this match. You know, just frustrated with the way that she's playing. I think Cornet's just making her play those 2-3 extra shots every time.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Advantage Cornet.
So air temperature at the moment is 33 degrees. It's got to be at least 10 degrees warmer than that down on court.
It's humid today as well. Probably started as an Anzac biscuit. What sort of biscuit is she now?
She's burnt.
Game.
Well, Cornet manages to hold serve.
Love 15.
I mean, it feels hotter because of the rallies that they're playing as well. You know, it's routine 16-shot rallies again and again. We saw a 28-shot rally as well. They're just putting so much work into it.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's big.
Talked about that backhand.
And because both of these players are physical athletes, you know, we hear how hard they're working. They're not really getting any free points off the serve and return. Just makes it so much more difficult out there.
Well, brilliant play from Cornet. You just feel that the physical battle is being led by her a little more significantly now. But even then, just have a look at the response from Cornet after she hit the shot. Almost no energy to move back into position. Three break points. You mentioned, Laura, that Alizé Cornet would remember
15-14.
the fact that she hadn't won a first set in those fourth-round encounters. She'd also remember the head-to-head where she's 3-1. In each of her wins, she's won the first set. There was a retirement. You know, it's a long time ago. 2015 was their last encounter, but...
And now at the moment, Cornet winning 6 times when the rally goes over 9 shots. She's winning all of those. Just slightly more consistent.
It's a big break. Cornet leads 3-1.
I just want to mention on that second last point, Simona Halep was pointing to a stomach and then a throat. So I'm just wondering whether she's starting to feel the effects of the heat.
She's really leaning over a lot at the back of the court between almost every point here.
Starting to look more distressed in the face as well. Mind you, Cornet doesn't look that much more comfortable in the conditions. One thing we do know about Alizé Cornet, she's a big fighter. Hold here would be very important.
And I think, for me, the difference is that Cornet can sometimes look exhausted between points and look down and out, and then she comes out, steps on the baseline, and is still moving, you know, fantastic around the court. And that's what we've seen so far, whereas you don't often see it as much as this from Halep, where she's letting it show.
15-13.
That's a 5th unforced error from the Cornet forehand in this set. She's otherwise just been relentless, so steady from the back. And Halep again, taking some extra time in the shade.
There was definitely some extra oomph on that last serve from Cornet, 172, and then the +1 shot, much more aggressive. So when she's down in score and she needs the point, the decibels are also going up on the grunt, but the focus is there when she needs it.
Well, wonderful fight at both ends.
How's that for hitting? And how's that for moving? 19-shot rally.
And the hustle from Cornet to get to the drop shot. It is here.
It was a good drop shot, played it beautifully down the line there.
So let's keep an eye on the clock here. It's down to 15 seconds.
And let's keep an eye on Halep.
Yep, she's cooked. That 172k serve a couple of points ago, fastest of the match from Cornet.
Yes.
I think we've moved on from the oven, and fair to say it's a barbecue going on. And Simona Halep, oh, she's still giving it everything, but almost you get the feeling that she's done physically, almost.
Not yet, not done yet.
But even after she's winning the points here, Halep just doubling over, clutching the stomach. And she's going up to return because she's aware of the shot clock, but she's sort of leaning over when she's up near the baseline, and just not good signs here if she can dig this one out.
From both players. So the heat policy does contemplate playing with the roof closed. The outside courts would close so that it's the same for all players, for those that are playing on an outside court. But we're still a way away. It's the combination between the
wet
direct
globe.
heat, wet bulb. It's the combination between the heat and the humidity, but really the heat has to be up in the high 30s. They're almost out on their feet.
And it's tricky because you know, quite often in Melbourne it's dry heat. It's a little bit more humid today, but you often see the wet bulb come in a lot more out in Asia when it's just so much sweatier.
We saw those brutal conditions in Tokyo for the Olympic Games. Well, Halep doesn't have the energy to celebrate a .1. Cornet, of course, will continue to remonstrate, as only Alizé Cornet can.
I felt like that was a bit of a bailout from Halep in the rally as well, to go for the drop shot. Wasn't played with much thought behind it, and Cornet read it easily, but just couldn't quite put the ball away there. It just seems like Cornet is reading a lot of Halep's plays there. You know, she's opening the court line, the Romanian, but Cornet just is such a good mover from the baseline that she's just doing well to keep the split step quite late and pick a side.
Light. First service.
So a welcome hold of serve, 3-all.
3 games.
Oh, great hold of serve by Halep there, but I think for me, I feel like she's playing too much down the line, and Cornet's just happy to run side to side and predict where she's going to go. I'd like to see a bit more back behind. What do you think, Paddy?
Well, I agree there with you, Laura, that those last couple of games, Halep was going down the line a lot more. Although Cornet was getting the ball back, I just feel like she's even more physically distressed than before, because she's having to do a lot more running. And I think Cornet forgot to have a look up at the scoreboard, but, you know, she's ahead in this match. And because she's so fatigued, I think she's even forgetting the scoreline. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But for now, I feel like the down-the-line play is working because it's making Cornet work harder.
This is what Cornet did effectively against Zidansek. Got the crowd involved, got her on her side, particularly after the issues with the umpire. She might have a tough task of doing that here. Halep, popular player down under.
Love 13.
Seventh double.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, as a courtesy to players, do not shout in between the first and second serve. Thank you.
Look at that shot. It's like the center stage, isn't it? Spotlight. Rod Laver Arena.
Love 14.
So a big break for Halep, 3 games in a row. Leads 4-3.
What a momentum shift this has been in the last couple of games. All of a sudden, Cornet looking like the one struggling more physically. It's an easy hold. 4th game in a row for Halep. Leads 5-3. Just looking at that heat policy. Whatever the mechanism is, need to be a meteorologist to work it out. But there's, once it gets to 5, then they can invoke the first part of the policy. We're at 3.5. So we're still a fair way from even being close to that. Yeah, I think in a more regular matchup, you probably wouldn't notice it as much because you get some big servers and big returners keeping the points a lot shorter than these two have been.
Love 15.
I think the biggest reason for the momentum shift has just been the amount of unforced errors off the racket from Cornet, just completely releasing the pressure off Halep.
Well, she's up to 14 unforced errors now in this set, 10 off the forehand side. That's been the key one, really. It's just fallen off the back foot there.
Three set points. So Simona Halep back in it, big time. Takes the second set, 6-3.
Love 15.
And there's what I was looking for. You know, we just saw Cornet really take a step back after being a set and a break up in set 2.
And Halep's brought that forward, hasn't she? At the start of the match, she was a long way behind the baseline.
And a lot of that comes from wanting to keep the points short as well in this sort of heat. You just don't want to be consistently having those 16-shot rallies.
Fifteen, 13.
Simona Halep rises. There's a pressure point.
30 all.
What did you say about 16-shot rallies?
Well, there's that down the line play that Paddy was saying is just working so well against Cornet. You know, it's just keeping her on the back foot and pushing her to play more and more behind the baseline. And I feel like it's drawing the errors from Cornet's forehand because she's now trying to overplay that shot. The court feels so small at the moment for her.
Game.
So Halep gets the opening game, keeps look, I just wonder, both players seem a little fresher. I know it's relative term, but they don't look as distressed as they were at the early stages of the second set.
Well, definitely what's helped is the points generally have been shorter, and certainly to be able to go inside. There is air conditioning in the hallways underneath. So it's very much about cooling down the body and getting the temperature down, and that's why they have the towels of ice on the change of ends around their neck. So the fact that they're able to go inside, it's a lower temperature. Certainly, I think they're both looking better. I wouldn't say fresher, I'm not sure about that, but definitely not as distressed, that's for sure.
Third team 15.
So Cornet trying to snap this game losing streak. Stands at 6.
40-13.
I seem to think, if I look back at that 5th game where Cornet was serving 3-1, did she have a game point? I think she might have been close to getting to 4-1 there. Needs to win this service game.
Use.
Don't remember her having a game point, but it was definitely a close game, and it's sort of going the way of her last match, just in the other direction, you know, setting a break, start perhaps thinking about the finish line already.
Light for service.
That's very close. Is that a broken string?
Advantage. Cornet.
So Alizé Cornet gets on the board, snaps that game-losing streak. 1-1.
1 game.
It's really important as a player that Simona Halep there, she had all the momentum. Cornet was making a lot of mistakes and almost felt like that last game she was a little passive, just waiting for the errors to come from Cornet. However, they did not. So it'd be interesting to see what game style here Halep adopts.
And we've seen on the
15
stats
months.
that Halep is definitely playing better when she's closer inside the court, playing tighter on the baseline. Pretty much exactly like that, and even when the balls aren't landing that deep off the Halep forehand, it's just taking the time away from Cornet, drawing the errors off the forehand side, and just getting her more and more frustrated.
That's sort of been the position that she's been stuck in, isn't it? The entire match working across the baseline. Five unforced errors apiece in his third set.
I think could have cut that angle off on the forehand there. She's trying to play a tight cross-court angle from still behind the baseline. Very tricky shot, even if you're Simona Halep. A little bit of luck going Halep's way here.
40-13.
Prada, you've noticed on the sort of bigger points that Halep's just taken a step back. I felt like that was exactly one of those points where she was just maybe half a meter further behind the baseline.
Well, it's definitely that balancing act that I was talking about before, just the errors coming from Cornet. So maybe Halep just thinks that she can just keep the ball in play from the baseline. This last point was a great example where Cornet hit a deeper ball, so Halep backed up, but instead of actually moving forward and looking to get on the baseline to look for the short ball, she's left just being on the back foot and not being aggressive enough.
Haven't liked the drop shot since the opening point of the match. Halep raises the effort to get there.
Advantage, Halep.
And that was a fantastic move. Played it from below the net, got enough topspin over the shot.
The pressure from Halep is immense. Holds and leads 2-1.
I think annoyingly for both of these players is that it's a bit too late for that now. Now that they've started the third set, there won't be any change, even if it does get to 4. The rule used to be if you started the match, then the heat rule couldn't come in mid-match, and they had to change that in the end, because if you were playing a super epic, you know, second set and you went 2 hours long, and then you got no break after that, it was brutal.
2 games
I'm
over.
sure that's the first time she's held to love in the match.
So steady from Cornet, and again after a point like that we see Halep at the back of the court, doubled over.
Love.
Last couple of points, the tennis has been terrific from both players using the down-the-line shots. Very much in the balance this match right now.
Love.
And again, it's amazing. We're back to the stats in the set looking pretty much totally even. Same amount of unforced errors, one winner between them. That point I felt Halep was really waiting for the error. And sometimes the variation is good when you're mixing it up with the heights, but it's a dangerous game to play.
Aggressive play from Cornet. Hold serve. Not a break of serve yet in this third set. Had 3 in the first. 6 breaks of serve in the second. reaction from Halep. It was a big point. Big winner.
That's an absolutely gorgeous angle that she's hit there. Very tough shot to play. Another mammoth rally here. And up until 2 points ago, Cornet had actually won 9 out of 10 points off the first serve, now 9 out of 12. Halep putting some really good pressure on here. Cornet only winning 33% of points off the second serve. Made it. Oh, Cornet can't believe it. Oh.
30-14.
Well, that is a millimetre. Brings up the break point. Well, that is less than a millimetre.
Even though Simona Halep lost that point, you have to tip your hat at her foot speed. The cadence has increased. So when I talk about cadence, I talk about the setup to the shot. She's working extremely hard trying to get this break.
Well done, Alizé Cornet. We see it time and time again with her. When her back's up against the wall, she finds a way through it. And, you know, could have been really flustered by that close call to go break point down.
There's the evidence of how Cornet likes to play from behind. She's down, she finds a way. Saves the break point. Well, I asked you both at the start of the set where you were sitting. Nicole, courtside, 3-all.
Well, you just saw there in the pictures, hopefully up on the screen, Simona Halep has had a boil over. The racket is gone out of the hand. Very, very interesting. We said it before at the start of the match. Both these players are just so similar. And the fact that Cornet has really dialed it in, locked it in, not making the unforced errors, really tough contest to call. So I'm definitely sitting on the fence right now, but I'm certainly enjoying the tennis.
Laura?
I'm going to wait and see who wins this point. Cornet is hoping that Halep went over the net there or touched the net. Isn't quite sure on the rules.
Let's have a look. We'll get a good angle from here.
You can reach over it as long as you don't touch. And that's perfectly done from Halep.
Foot was pretty close, wasn't it? Look at the backspin. It actually had no choice. She had to follow it over.
I'm still sticking with Halep. You know, I think she's going to find a way through this, and Cornet, you know, can get a bit nervous towards the end of these really tough matches. What's happened to their footwork there?
30.
Here we go. Saved the break point in the previous service game, has one now. Cornet gets the break. She leads 4-3. Well, she was a little lucky. It's been her friend that drive volley throughout the match.
15.
What's shifted down here at court level is it's very clear that it's more of a pro-Cornet French crowd than for Halep. So interesting to see if Cornet uses that energy from the crowd.
Good time to play the drop shot. Cornet miles behind the baseline. Don't forget, Cornet was at a set and a break up in this match. It's played probably almost another hour since then. Halep winning the last 16 points of the second set.
There's a brilliant volley from Cornet. Drop shot across the court.
I love that Cornet is actually trying to dictate these points. You know, she's moving forward, trying to be the aggressive player and trying to stay out of these super long rallies from the back of the court.
Counter-punch attack, defence, the error from Halep.
That's just huge moving from Cornet to even get herself back in that rally. It's just redirecting the pace coming from her opponent and, you know, working hard. Sometimes I think if you've been a set and a break up and then lost it, by the time you get to that opportunity again in set 3, you know, you're so tired that you're not really thinking so much about the scoreline, and you've been through the emotions already. The nerves have been and gone.
So Cornet holds. She's on the verge of a spot in the quarterfinal. If she can do it, she'll set a Grand Slam record. Cain Tennis-Sagan holds the record for a maiden Grand Slam quarterfinal in her 45th appearance. This is Cornet's 63rd Grand Slam. Halep serving to stay in it.
You could cut the tension out on court with a knife. That was such gutsy play from Simona Halep to have that touch with the volley. And typically at the net, she's not all that comfortable. Amazing.
She's being aggressive, though.
Well, this, for me, will be so much easier for Cornet to break here for the match rather than come out and serve it out at 5-4. Now's the time to get after it.
15-13.
Two match points. 62 Grand Slam appearances, 0 quarterfinals.
Thank you, please.
That's one way to save a match point.
13-14.
Cornet still got one to play with.
Huge points from Halep. Enormous.
Yes.
She didn't give Cornet a look.
Well, it almost looked like Halep cramped or something mid-point there. Paddy, did you see anything? Because she didn't even make a move to that short ball.
I just think it's the physical effort, the physical toll that it's taking. And I tell you what, those last 3 points from Simona Halep, when she's almost down and out, she's played some of her best tennis to throw it right back to Cornet. Amazing.
Service hold from Simona Halep, saved 2 match points. Some epic play.
Well, it's not a good start. I think a risky game all match playing that drop shot. It sometimes worked, but you know, serving for the match, you've got to really commit to being the one to dictate play. That's what got her here in the first place. Making every ball count.
The quality remains high after 2 hours and 30 minutes.
A positive move from Halep here, but she just doesn't really have the confidence in the net to pull these shots off. That really could have been a drop volley. It just sat up nicely for Cornet, and it could have been love 30 there, but I think I'm more nervous than both of these players.
And some of these big points from Halep in the last two games have been off the charts.
Oh my word. 19-shot rally.
30.
A couple of moon balls thrown in there from both players, just trying to slow the pace down, wait for the error. Halep, the one who decided to strike perhaps a little too early there.
Good match point.
Done it!
It's Alizé's day. Finally, on her 63rd attempt, she's through to the quarterfinal.
Oh, you can't believe it, and look what it means to her. That's an unbelievable achievement, and what perseverance to still be out here on a 17th Australian Open appearance, making a quarterfinal for the first time, and just delivering the most incredible tennis today. Both players outstanding. It was so physical, just over 2.5 hours. They gave it absolutely everything. We saw so many long rallies. But Cornet, after being set in a break-up, had to battle it out till deep in the third set. She really earned that one today.